say? If at first you get sued and have to pay out $25 million, not only is he dishonest, he's not too bright.
Growing in rain.
Phone call from my man Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy said if Floyd accepts the challenge, that he'll put it on the actual show.
There's no way this man is broke. There's no way.
Yeah.
If he is, I don't know where the money went to.
Is that?
Floyd Mayweather loses his cool after Jimmy Kimmel publicly questions his money-making tactics and exhibition fights during a live broadcast. Kimmel mocked Mayweather's obsession with cash grabs, sparking a heated confrontation that left the boxing legend visibly furious and fans shocked by the on-air exchange.
Posed for this, or was this just...
I guess it's something that they just made up.
something made up? Do you think they're going to paint over that when it goes as everyone seems to think it's going to go?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You should buy that gym from him and knock it down with a wrecking ball. We can do that. That would be something you could potentially make. How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Wow. I know you love money, right? I mean,
It's cool. It's cool.
yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel's blunt questioning only intensified the tension, but beneath Mayweather's flashy persona, deeper issues were surfacing. Financial experts have long cautioned that reckless spending, poor investment choices, and a lack of steady income can threaten even the wealthiest empires. And for Mayweather, those warnings may now be hitting home.
This is from Instagram. You're on what looks like a private plane. You just put a whole...
No, my private.
Your private plane, sorry. With a whole lot of money, and it looks like a couple of bowls of ketchup maybe also. Are you eating this money?
Those are cup holders.
Oh, those are cup holders, okay. Sorry, I don't have a private plane.
Oh, you didn't flew.
What do you do with all this money? I mean, like, do you actually use it? I mean, are you using the cash?
You know, cash is king.
Do you have an ATM card?
I'm the human ATM.
Floyd Mayweather was recently seen strolling through the streets of New York City, pointing at buildings and claiming ownership of several high-profile properties. While he appeared to project an image of ongoing wealth and real estate dominance, that narrative quickly unraveled. Investigative sources revealed that many of the buildings he boasted about aren't registered in his name or tied to any of his known business entities. This contradiction has only intensified speculation about the true state of his finances and the lengths he may be going to maintain his public image.
What the hell is going on with Floyd Mayweather?
Man, do we got money or not? I don't know what's going on.
I'm lost.
Man, I seen, I think Stephen A was talking about he was bankrupt.
See, I know he came out with this commercial talking about he just invested in this deal that's worth like $402 million that's dealing with 60 apartment buildings.
Yeah, I heard the nigga bought half of New York.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so he walking down the street of New York. Yeah, I own that one. I own that one.
Seen that too.
So some people reached out to the agencies that he's connected with about this deal, and they said no comment.
Let me say something. I got a question. Niggas is nosy for no reason.
Nosy as hell.
What? What I'm reaching out to these people about? They deal for.
You want to talk to you about the Floyd Mayweather deal? No comment. They say his name ain't on no paperwork, nothing.
I seen him on something. He looked like a bum.
Floyd?
He was looking like a bum, had like he shaved in months.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
There's no way this
I
man is
seen
broke.
that too.
There's no way.
Yeah.
If he is, I don't know where the money went to.
Is that?
Beyond mounting financial concerns, Floyd Mayweather continues to face the weight of long-standing legal disputes. One particularly troubling chapter involves lawsuits filed by former girlfriends, accusing him of emotional mistreatment. These cases have added new layers of controversy to a reputation already stained by past allegations. The lawsuit details paint a picture of a troubling pattern rather than isolated incidents, deepening public scrutiny. As these legal issues persist, they cast a long shadow over Mayweather's legacy, making it increasingly difficult for him to escape a history steeped in controversy.
Floyd Mayweather, real quick, okay? So somebody sent me a lawsuit. I gotta go through the details, but apparently, a few of his girls, strippers at Girl Collection, are suing him for loss of wages. Okay. Now I wasn't gonna pay attention to this because I was just like, how are y'all strippers and you suing him for loss of wages? I'm trying to figure that out. Like, you get your money from the paper. What does he have to do with your money? And so somebody put a little bird in my ear. They said this was the beginning of the lawsuit. Okay, they're gonna be adding more allegations of harassment and all this stuff. And I was just like, no, hold up, he worked in a club. And so apparently there's more to come. All right, but here's my thing. I was like, the last person that filed a lawsuit against him, alleging anything, where's she at? Anybody seen it?
A recently surfaced video shows Floyd Mayweather spending lavishly on renting luxury mansions, properties he neither lives in nor needs. His lifestyle choices, such as favoring high-priced rentals over ownership, seem driven more by image than practicality. Critics argue that these extravagant expenditures point to a desperate effort to maintain the illusion of wealth, rather than reflecting sound financial planning. For someone who frequently touts himself as a financial mastermind, this pattern suggests recklessness over strategy.
Floyd Mayweather just signed a deal to lease an apartment in Midtown Manhattan. He's going to be paying $100,000 per month for this place. Here's the apartment, you guys. It's got 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 4,000 square feet, and the place is pretty epic, I'm not gonna lie. The description says that this is a double unit and it is a corner unit, so you got a ton of natural light in here. Do you think this place is worth $100,000 per month? Why would Floyd spend $100,000 a month on this apartment? If I had to guess, it would be a combination of owning something is just kind of a liability. Plus, I'm pretty sure whenever you rent a place versus buy a place for business purposes, you're able to write off more of that lease payment. So if I had to guess, that $100,000 per month is going to be a pretty big write-off for him based on how he plans to use this place.
In what many viewed as a strategic move to control the narrative, Floyd Mayweather released a video highlighting his real estate holdings across the United States. In the video, he claimed to be shifting focus from lavish personal residences to income-generating commercial properties. The message appeared designed to reassure the public that recent sales of his high-end homes were not signs of financial trouble, but rather part of a calculated investment pivot aimed at long-term stability and profit.
Floyd Money Mayweather is at it again. This time, not in the ring, but in the real estate market. The undefeated boxing champ just sold his Miami Beach mansion for a jaw-dropping $22 million. Let's break down the numbers and see why Floyd's still living up to his nickname. Mayweather originally bought this stunning waterfront property in 2021 for $18 million. Fast forward 3 years and he's walking away with a cool $4 million profit. Not bad, right? And here's a fun twist. The buyer is taking on a $13 million mortgage, which comes with monthly payments of nearly $99,000. Now, let's talk about the mansion itself. It's a 3-story masterpiece, spanning over 9,000 square feet with 9 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. But the amenities? Next level, a 5,000 square foot rooftop with panoramic view.
Back in 2017, Floyd Mayweather attempted to silence critics by dramatically pulling out an uncashed $100 million check during a press conference. The money, he claimed, was his cut from the blockbuster fight against Manny Pacquiao. Waving it around as proof that his wealth was untouched, the stunt left a lasting impression, but also raised eyebrows. Many questioned why such a massive check remained uncashed, sparking speculation about whether the display was more about showmanship than financial strength.
He's like the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA, the UFC.
I didn't know Conor McGregor was undefeated. I didn't know that he had a reign in MMA for 20 years and undefeated, and was world champion in 5 different weight classes. That's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys telling me something new. If you say he's a Floyd Mayweather of the MMA.
Well, do you,
I mean, if you say he's a Floyd Mayweather of the MMA, I'm trying to find out. Have you ever made $300 million in one night? Have you ever made $100 million in one night? Have you ever made $70 million in one night? So, as far as trying to say that he's a Floyd Mayweather MMA, I mean, it's okay to just to say it, but it's not true. I'm a legend, a living legend. You know, I gave just sport boxing. I gave years and years of hard work. It was blood, sweat, and tears. Had a tremendous team, had a tremendous run. I think that it's time for if Conor McGregor need to go out there and do what he do. But never compare Conor McGregor to me. That's a total disrespect.
Well,
I mean, once again, I'm an elephant. Elephant don't beef with ants. You know, elephant is so large you don't even see ants.
Floyd Mayweather has long defended his extravagant lifestyle as a just reward for a lifetime of hard work, often reminding audiences of his rise from poverty to global stardom. To him, flaunting wealth isn't arrogance, it's motivation. But not everyone sees it that way. Boxing icon Mike Tyson once remarked that Mayweather is a little too into himself, suggesting that his relentless self-praise borders on delusion. Tyson's critique reflects a broader sentiment among fans and fellow athletes, that Mayweather's obsession with showcasing riches, especially during times of global economic hardship, comes off as tone-deaf and narcissistic, doing more harm to his image than good.
What lessons do you think Pacquiao and Mayweather could learn from you in terms of life away from the ring?
Well, Floyd seems to be going through some stuff like me right now, you know, like realizing no one's his friend and everybody's probably, even though I even hate to say it, maybe everybody's kind of a little jealous of him, you know, because he is Floyd Mayweather. I know these other guys got their money, but this guy is the champ of the world, you know. It's hard to compete with that. So he's pretty big on those scales as far as on the celebrity scale. So he's gonna realize what life is all about, what friends are all about, and realize that we only have a few of them. And sometimes they're the only ones we got. They may not be the ones we want, but they're the ones we have. You know, sometimes we want to have glorious, glamorous friends, but they don't want to be our friends.
Mayweather's obsession with proving his financial superiority resurfaced when he took a jab at Anthony Joshua, boasting that he generated $74 million in gate revenue without the need for massive crowds. While the claim may have been factually accurate, the tone was unmistakably defensive. Analysts viewed the remark as yet another display of Mayweather's lingering jealousy and his relentless need to assert dominance over younger, more popular fighters. Rather than uplifting the sport, such comments often highlight his insecurity and struggle to remain relevant in a new era of boxing.
He said in particular, and then there was also some footage that dropped a couple hours ago on IFL TV that, you know, is the reason I'm making this video. He made some comments about Anthony Joshua and compared, you know, I guess, you know, his, you know, because, you know, he talks about his money a lot, so he compared, like, I guess, his fight with Pacquiao to Anthony Joshua, and he was saying, like, you know, basically, they didn't need 100,000 or 90,000 people to do X amount of dollars. You know, here, I'm gonna let you listen to it. Here's what he had to say verbatim. Here's what Floyd said about Anthony Joshua.
Talk about that. I was in the Guinness Book of World Record for breaking all the records. You didn't tell them that?
Of course you have.
For generating billions in the sport of boxing, that or having the fastest sellout crowd. But I mean, and, you know, those guys done, you know. And I was watching a fight when I was at my Miami house. I was at my Miami home. I was watching a fight with Klitschko and the guy Joshua, and they said that this is electrifying, sort of like the Pacquiao and Mayweather. And I said, well, we didn't have to have all those hundreds of thousands to do a $74 million gate. So, and like I said before, but those guys put on a hell of a show. Like I said before, you know, I'm just on another planet. And you definitely know it. Because you've been around for years. And you see the same thing over and over and over again.
Alright, so there you have it. Mayweather basically saying that, you know, he's on another planet and all this stuff, and that, you know, they didn't need 90,000 people and all this stuff. But, I mean, let's look at it like this.
Oscar de la Hoya, Floyd Mayweather's longtime rival, has publicly called out what he sees as blatant hypocrisy. De La Hoya pointed out that while Mayweather often mocks YouTubers and crossover fighters like Ryan Garcia, he has personally profited immensely from the very same audience. By ridiculing others as just influencers while pocketing millions from exhibition bouts against social media stars, Mayweather appears to contradict the standards he claims to uphold, fueling criticism that his legacy is increasingly built on contradictions rather than consistency.
Talking about this kid Ryan Garcia. Tank got his followers from kicking ass. Ryan Garcia got his followers from YouTubers. There's a difference. So you want to be a YouTuber or you want to be a fighter? Tank is a fighter.
Oh, fuck. So Ryan Garcia's not a fighter? He's been fighting since he was 7 years old. He has 200 plus amateur fights. I don't care where his followers come from, if they come from fucking Mars. The fact is that Ryan's followers are selling this fight. And plus, don't you remember you fought YouTubers? Are you putting YouTubers down? You profited from them. I can't with you, dude. You're fucking dumbass. I can't wait. April 22nd, Ryan Garcia fucking knocking out Tank Davis.
De La Hoya and others have also suggested that Mayweather may be desperate for attention or money. His constant media appearances and controversial statements often seem strategically timed to reignite public interest. Post-retirement, Mayweather's career has been defined by exhibition matches, easy paydays against non-professionals. He's boxed YouTubers and MMA fighters, taking minimal risks while raking in massive profits.
Floyd is somebody since I'm 8 years old. This was my idol. It's a tremendous honor, but make no mistake, June 11th, I'm bringing bad intentions to that man, and I don't care if an exhibition or not. You signed to fight me, it's no quarter, so it's kill or be killed.
Another big event. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a crazy crowd. I'm pretty sure, but I've been here so many times. You know, I've been fighting since 1987 to now, so I know what it takes when, you know, at any level. So I'm just happy to be here.
I watched every one of his fights. I've never seen anybody throw combinations with the intent and the speed and the accuracy of that man, and I was captivated from that night on. So I've been Team Mayweather since I'm 9 years old, but like I said, when it's time to get to business, we're gonna get to business. We're gonna fight.
I will continue to have fun, entertain, until I'm ready to say, you know what, enough is enough.
While Mayweather defends these events as fun, purists argue that they tarnish the sport, turning boxing into a cheap spectacle. Oscar de la Hoya, in particular, criticized Mayweather's exhibition match against John Gotti III, calling it embarrassing and a stain on his legacy. He urged Floyd to stop participating in such matches before they cause irreversible damage to his image.
Floyd Mayweather fought another exhibition against Gotti last Saturday. A real the crowd booing in the arena at the end. But in the middle of the second round, Floyd literally had the referee swapped out. He didn't like that the referee told him to stop hitting behind the head. Floyd is used to having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
In a resurfaced challenge, Jimmy Kimmel joked about giving Floyd Mayweather a reading challenge on air, bringing up a long-standing feud between Floyd and 50 Cent. The rapper once dared Mayweather to read a page of Harry Potter, and clips of Mayweather struggling with reading fueled damaging rumors about his literacy. Mayweather responded to the criticism, saying, "Reading doesn't define success." But the issue became another talking point used to question his credibility that Mayweather's legal record, which includes multiple convictions and arrests, presents a stark contrast to the polished image he attempts to maintain. Fans and commentators alike are left wondering how someone with so many red flags continues to operate so publicly without facing more scrutiny.
Will Smith just publicly thanked Floyd Mayweather, but a lot of people are calling him out for that. And where it all began was right after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, which Will Smith said almost ended his career. With Will Smith apologizing for getting a 10-year ban from the Oscars, and he said many celebrities would not return his calls. And the only exception was Floyd Mayweather, who called up Will Smith every day for 10 days straight. With Will Smith saying that the only reason Floyd Mayweather called was just because he wanted to make sure he was okay. And Will Smith said before that he only met Floyd Mayweather a couple times before, calling him an acquaintance, but now would call him a friend for life. But I don't think Will Smith should be saying this because Floyd Mayweather was arrested in 2002 for punching 2 women at his nightclub. And due to that, he had a 1-year suspended jail sentence in 2004. And then he was arrested again for assaulting a bouncer at a nightclub, getting another 90-day suspended sentence. Then was arrested for beating up his ex-girlfriend Josie Harris, which is someone when he was 10 years old testified against his father saying he was assaulting his mother. So Will Smith is not a bad guy, but clearly made a mistake at the Oscars, and it's not a good idea for him to go befriend Floyd Mayweather. Because life's ultimately about who you associate with, and with that, I'm Charles Pearl. I hope you learned something.
Boxing icon Roy Jones Jr. recently criticized Floyd Mayweather's legacy, arguing that he changed the sport priorities. He made great money, Jones said, but he did it for himself. According to Jones, Mayweather's emphasis on wealth over honor has shifted boxing's culture from building legacies to chasing profits. This sentiment resonates with many frustrated boxing fans. Once a symbol of success and invincibility, Mayweather's image is slowly unraveling. Despite his undefeated 50-0 record and massive earnings, accusations, lawsuits, extravagant spending habits, and questionable behavior have raised serious doubts about his legacy.
Not because he did a great job, but he did it for himself and it worked for him. But everybody now wants the Mayweather concept because Mayweather made so much money, staying undefeated, waiting to the right time to fight Pacquiao, finding the right people to fight at the right time. He monopolized the business. But the problem was it only made him money and the people he was fighting. It didn't make money for the whole sport. So what he did himself a great job, but it hurt the sport because not everybody wants to fight, stay undefeated. You understand me? Me, it's like when 2 guys get hit, they gotta meet. Wait. They was here 5 years ago. They should have met. You understand me? Because now we probably could have got 3 good fights out of it. You understand me? But because we waited too long, the problem people don't understand is tomorrow's not promised to nobody. Guess what?
Floyd Mayweather now faces serious challenges amid allegations of a $42 million theft, which is shaking his previously untouchable image. His trusted security figure, Big Adam, is now in the spotlight, and scrutiny continues to grow as investigations unfold. Fans and critics alike are questioning whether Mayweather's empire is more fragile than it appeared. Despite being one of boxing's biggest names, Mayweather's legacy is slowly crumbling under the weight of growing scandals and lies. From shady investments to exhibition gimmicks, his credibility is taking major hits. Once respected for his skill, he is now seen as a fallen icon, desperate for relevance, and exposing the cracks in his empire.
Big Church being from Vegas, he had, went back to Vegas and Florida, had picked him up. And so it was around late December, he had hit me and said, "Hey man, Floyd is getting rid of one of his dudes. If I can get you over here, would you want to work?" And just me wanting to change the pace at the time, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So Floyd was coming down to play in a celebrity game with Team Watson. Mm-hmm. And so it was like December 14th or something like that. So I asked one of the dudes to cover me, and I went over to the Van Nuys airport and met him. And so, Church had already told him about me. Big Mark, rest in peace, had told him about me. And so when I met him at the airport, he got off the plane. He looked me up and down, was like, "Big Church, you good?" He's like, Church was like, "Hell yeah." "Big Mark, you good?" He's like, "Hell yeah." He's like, "All right, yeah, he on." Yeah. So I started with Mayweather December 28th, 2007.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.